It's holiday time, and we've got some stocking stuffer recommendations to share.
In this episode of Little Big Thumbs.
Welcome to Little Big Thumbs, a channel that's all about finding great games that are equally fun for little players and big players. My name is JP.
And I'm Milo.
And today we're talking about the tiniest of games. The games that are so small that they can fit into a stocking for the holidays. But before we start talking about them, we've got to figure out which of us is going to have that critical advantage of offering their picks first. And for that, as we have all throughout most of this year, we're going to lean on Hand Games 21 to determine who goes first. And the game we've got today is called Mirror Shield, and this is a rock, paper, scissors style of game in which we're going to have one hand up, and it's going to have 5 energy on it. And with our other hand, we're going to be going Mirror Shield. And at the end of that, when we say shield, that this fist changes into either a pew pew, trying to fire our magic at another player, or it goes up in the air saying you're abstaining from the battle, or it goes into an actual shield, like you're blocking the magic attack that's coming at you. So if you get hit with a magical blast and you don't have a mirror shield up, you're going to lose 1 of your energy. If that magical attack comes at you and you do have your magical shield up, your mirror shield up, it bounces off, as a mirror shield probably would in real life. It bounces back and hits the person who was attacking at you, and they take 1 energy of damage. But if you have your mirror shield up and no one fired at you, your magical powers, they misfire, they short circuit, and you lose 2 energy.
Oh,
and so
tricky.
That's right. So the first player the last player standing with energy remaining will be the winner of the game here. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Mirror shield, 5 energy up.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna do this hand. There we go.
You're gonna do that hand. All
yes.
Right. Mirror shield. So you went up.
I did.
I pewed you, so you lose 1 energy. All right, here we go.
Mirror shield.
Oh, but I pewed you back. You've got 3. I've still got 5.
Yep.
All right.
Mirror shield.
Oh, I take a hit. All right. All right. Here we go.
Mirror shield.
Oh, we both lose 2.
Oh no. So I'm down to 1.
I'm down to 2. Oh,
okay.
Here we are. I'm going to switch to these fingers so that's more comfortable. All right.
Mirror shield.
Oh, that's it.
I'm out.
That's it. So I had 1 energy remaining. You had 0. So I win Mirror Shield. Hand Games 21. As we've done all year long, you can find the link to this product in the description of this video. Hand Games 21, super fun. Have you heard of the game Sushi Go?
I have.
All right. Well, our first stocking stuffer today is Sushi Bro.
Oh.
This is called Don't Skip Leg Day. Don't Skip Leg Day. This is made by Pandasaurus Games. It comes in this adorable protein shaker. This is a card drafting game in which we are going to the gym, we're getting fit, and we're planning 2 weeks of workouts. And so as you would in many of these types of drafting games, you're going to have a hand of cards, 9 cards at the start of this first week of training, and you're going to choose 1 card from your hand, set it down, and then pass the rest around the table. But the twist here in this drafting is that the first card you pick in the first week is going to go face up. Everyone knows what it is. But the second card and every other card is going to be face down. And so the idea there, the thematic idea is there that when they're face up, you're at the gym, you're showing off for your buds. But the face down cards are when you're at home, you're training at home. And this is neat because at the end you're going to have all of your combos. If you have like 3 bench press cards, you get 10 points. If you have like preacher curls, you're going to get X number of points if you have the right combination of those. But the trick here is that you never want to really show off when you're doing leg day. And so you want those to be hidden. And the trick here is that if at the end of the game, after these 2 weeks of training, you have the least number of leg day cards, you automatically lose the game. Your score is 0. You are out of the running, no matter how well the rest of the game how well you did in the rest of the game. And this game is for 3 to 6 players. It's got super party vibe. It is obviously unique packaging, a lot of fun, and on top of that fun like bluffing aspect of hiding your cards, just this I never imagined that a gym themed game, this bro themed game, would have so much a character to it. But you can play that every time everybody selected their cards, you can like simultaneously go bro and reveal your cards together. Or if there's one player that's having a hard time making up their mind, you can get all up in their face and go, bro, come on, bro, and it is just there's just so much fun to be had in Don't Skip Leg Day. And you've had a smidgen of an opportunity to try this game.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It was really fun. We did just a quick round a few nights ago, and it was great. Like I can't say that I love going to the gym, but I do love playing board games. And so playing a board game where I feel like I'm going to the gym, that's great. That's like the best as physical activity gets for me.
Absolutely. And I think, the idea of receiving a game that doesn't quite look like a game has a unique appeal, especially at holiday time.
Absolutely, yes. I was immediately intrigued by this game. I've seen it around your house for a few months now, but I hadn't played it until recently. And I was like, what is this? What's going on here? But it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I would totally play it again.
Amazing. Well, that's my first pick. Don't Skip Leg Day from Pandasaurus Games.
My first pick is That's Not a Hat 2, Pop Culture by Ravensburger. And we've talked about That's Not a Hat before. The second one is, there's got a little bit more to it. So instead of the arrows pointing left or right, you can deliver the card to anybody. Now, for those of you who have never played That's Not a Hat, it is a memory game where you're accepting gifts or not accepting gifts and re-giving gifts, and they're going to go face down. You have to memorize what everybody has and where they're moving, and it can get like quite tricky. And it was tricky enough when things were moving like just to the right or just to the left, but the second edition, you can literally give the gifts to like anybody. So that makes things way more complicated. Like I mentioned, the second edition is pop culture specifically, which I found to be really fun, especially because like my group of friends is different age groups. And so like sometimes the people were like, what the heck is this? Like, what is this thing called? So that was really fun. That's Not a Hat. It's great. I have both of them, and I would play it anytime. It's if you like memory games, then this is a perfect challenge for you.
And this is like the rare instance of a party game that I think is probably mostly geared to adults, but it is also accessible for younger players. I played this with my kids when the first time you mentioned it on the channel earlier this year, and it's great to get into. The memory aspect is the ultimate level playing field. It doesn't matter how confident you might be that you're going to remember that you had a camera, an old-timey camera hidden in front of you. If enough time passes and if somebody like asks you a question that is unrelated to the game, it's like in a moment's notice, you will wind up not remembering what card you had hidden, and then that's where that bluffing game comes into play.
Yes.
And That's Not a Hat is so much fun. All right, so speaking of memory games, I've got one for you that is very much off the beaten path, and this one is called Banana Boy versus Unicone. This is a very tiny game. It's not going to be available in stores. You have to go to the publisher's website to find this game. We'll make sure that's in the description of this video so you can find it. And this is like your traditional memory game where there is a display of cards on the table and you're trying to find matches to get the most cards by the end of the game. However, there are some twists and turns with this one in particular. in that these cards are double-sided. And there are all sorts of quirky elements to the game where when you pick your two cards, you've got to guess what is on the other side of them as you would in a normal memory game. But the fun of this is that you've got to come up with some sort of quirky name, hence the name of the game, Banana Boy versus Unicone, because you've got these two things here and you've got to name the two things that are face up, and then you flip them over and you hope that they match. And so you might have, I don't know, like a Unawiener, and you flip these over, and the quirky names you can come up with when you're playing this game is half of the fun. But the fact is that when they're double-sided, the memory aspect has this real quirk to it. Hard to remember where certain cards are, and it is a sublime little memory game. We think of these traditional memory games as being more geared towards younger children, but this is I mean, it's going to be fun for kids, but it is really fun to play with adults as well, because it's just so hard to keep your thumb on where things are. And you had the chance to play this one as well.
I did, yeah. It was a lot of fun. I definitely loved creating the silly names. And you know what? I don't even think that you told me while you were setting things up that the cards were double-sided. I feel like, I don't know, that must have been a night where I was like either half paying attention or you like purposefully like didn't share that part. But when you were like doing your first turn and you flipped things over, I was like, wait a second, did I just like blank? Did I miss something? Were cards even turned over? And then I was like, oh wait, everything is double-sided. And so immediately I was like, oh gosh, that adds a whole other layer of complexity here. So yeah, you're right. Like when we think of memory games, we often think of like more childlike games, which this can be for sure, but definitely for adults as well. It was fun, super challenging. It was great.
Absolutely. And you talk about how maybe you didn't fully understand the double-sided nature of this game. And a nice thing about this game is that you kind of don't need to explain it. You just set everything up and take the first turn, and then people will be like, oh, okay. Maybe the two quirks to this one might be that you're looking for identical matches to gain two cards. But if you have matching backgrounds, even if the foreground doesn't match, you can take one of those two cards, and so that moves the game along a little bit quicker. And there's that element of reserving a card. So if, let's say, we're playing with 4 players, and I think I know where 2 matches are, I can put my finger on one and say, no one can take this one. I'm holding this one until my next turn. But you are committed to that one card on your next turn. So you got to hope that other card that you're waiting on is still available, and that you remember where it is. So throughout, there's some little twists to it, but ultimately this is a quick, super tiny game that is really unique because of the artwork choices, because of just the whole experience. Just super unique, super tiny, lots of fun. Banana Boy versus Unicone.
Okay, so the next game that I'm talking about is Slings from Blue Orange Games. And Slings it's a word game that's very fast paced, where you're going to be slinging cards and trying to get rid of your hand of cards before your opponents. This is a game that's for 2 to 7 players. We played it at 2 players and we played it at 3 players. And I think personally I enjoyed the 3-player game more, but it was so silly and so fun. I mean, we both love word games. We love word games. This is a game where there's going to be a category face up on the table, and then you have a bunch of letters in your hand, and basically anything goes. Like when you see the category, you can say like a single word that starts with one of your letters. You can say a whole sentence. And whenever there are 3 cards that have been added to that category, the 3rd card becomes the new category. So you flip that card over and you keep going. And the game ends when somebody gets to 40 points, and points are bad in this game. You don't want points. But once somebody has 40 points, then everyone counts all of their points, and whoever has the least number of points wins. So It was super fast paced, and it was just it got the energy high. I think it was the first game we played that night, and we had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. When we first started playing Slings, I was not immediately warming up to it. We were playing with 2 players, and I was like, okay, I get this game. And then when we added the 3rd player in, it immediately, for me anyways, it immediately lit up. And having that extra person to bounce off of and how to race against, because this is very much a speed game. And when you add in speed to word games, there is a little bit of that like mental hiccup of like, I can't think of any word that starts with E right now. Why can't I think of a word that starts with E? And so it's very much a party game. The more players you have at the table, the more chaos and fun is going to be had. So a tremendous game, and it's such it's a unique looking box. Like why does this guy have pink boxer shorts on with his yellow boots and the giant sombrero? I don't know, but I just love it. It's charming. Okay, so going from pink flamingo boxer shorts to absolute like black and white noir look. My next stocking stuffer pick is called Corvids. This is published by DVC Games, and this is a game where we are all different birds, and we have descended upon this human trash heap where we are trying to collect cards. And this game is sort of on like a handkerchief almost. And there are printed nests on the board, and those are all covered up by cards at the start of the game. And we are taking tweezers, which I guess are optional, but I think it adds thematically to the game to use your tweezers to pick cards out of this this garbage heap into your personal collection. And so the way the game goes is that you first got to peck, and so you've got to take a card and you've got to flip it over. And then you've got to pick. So you take a card, bring it into your collection, and then if there are any actions on the card you picked, that will trigger at that time. And there are also these wooden feathers that are on there, and if you take a card that has feathers on it, you get to take those feathers, and feathers can be used to steal from other players, but only once their bird nest has been revealed on the board, because at the start of the game, we don't know whose nest is whose, and you don't reveal what your bird is until after your nest has been completely uncovered. And so in that sense, this is one of the most interactive games I've played all year. That threat of stealing is always there. And the fact that you can, when you flip over cards, you can do it in such a way, you can be sneaky, you can be nasty in a way that you can flip over like a half dozen cards in order to either cover up your own nest or unveil someone else's nest, or cover up that one like button card that you know another player is looking for to complete their set. Just so much fun, so much fun. It's got such a unique look. I think everything from DVC Games has this like black and white, like old newspapery noir look to them. And it just stands out. It really stands out in such a unique way. I can't wait to play more of their games, and I can't wait to play more of this game. Corvids is going to be a game that stays in my collection for a long, long time. And I would happily give this to somebody else. Corvids, great pick. And again, you played this like last week.
I did, yes. Oh my gosh. I had wanted to play Corvids for a really, really long time. Corvids are like one of the coolest birds that I think are out there. Corvids, so the Corvid faction in Root is my favorite.
I knew you were going to mention Root.
It's my favorite faction to play. I love the Corvids. And so when this game came in and I saw that it was Corvids, I was like, ooh, Corvids. But having played it, it was really great. And like all the things that you mentioned, like thematically with the like tweezers, the like pecking of the cards in the trash pile, I really loved that. And I love how nasty it can be with like purposefully picking cards that you know your opponent is trying to get to, and then like covering your nest back up. That was something I thought was really cool. Like once your nest is uncovered, like it doesn't necessarily have to stay uncovered for the rest of the game. I really liked that. And I also really liked like all of the cute little knickknacks that were on the cards. Like these are things that corvids would find and like bring to their nest. So I thought that that was really cute. I loved that it was black and white. It was beautiful. I had a great time with corvid, and I too would love to see it in my stocking or give it to somebody else.
Hint, hint.
All right, so my next pick is going to be Pixies by Bombyx. Pixies is this cute little game right here. So Pixies is a set collection game with a little bit of open drafting. You're going to have a grid of cards that go in front of you, and you're trying to make the most amount of points you can through a few different types of set collection options. The game is more strategic than I anticipated, honestly. Not that card games can't be, but it just looked so cute, and there were just like numbers on it, nothing, it didn't look overly complicated, and well, it's not overly complicated. There's so much depth to it, and decision making and strategizing, and also paying attention to what your opponents are doing. I really loved that. But my favorite thing about this is the art.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So the art is, none of it is like AI generated or like cartoony. Like everything is real life pictures of these little tiny pixie creatures that have been created from like nature, like little sticks and flowers and all of that stuff. And so, oh, just playing this game, I remember the first time I played it, we got lost in the art. Like halfway through turns, we would be like, oh, wait, let's look at this. And then we would be like, wait, whose turn is it? And we'd have to reset. But it's a great little game that I've played, oh gosh, I can't even count how many times now. It's really high up there for me in games that I've just like so enjoyed this year. I played it with a group of friends, and I immediately bought it like online after playing it that night. It was so much fun. Yeah, Pixies.
Awesome. Awesome. The same thing for me. I've played this game multiple times, and I've never asked for it. It's just someone comes to the table and being like, "We're playing this," and you look at this box and you look at those cards, and you can't. How do you say no to these cute creatures that have been created for this game? I adore it, and my kids haven't played this yet, and I'm not sure that they would fully be able to grasp all of the strategies in it. But they looked at those cards and they were like, yup, when can we do this, Daddy? So Pixies is a great choice. Such a tiny box, and I think it's being distributed in the U.S., if not all of North America, by Pandasaurus Games, which is right up their alley as far as cute games with a bit of like strategic crunch to it. So great, another great pick. Great job. All right, I've got one more pick for you today, Milo, and it's called Flip Circus. This is made by IELLO, and this is a game. This is a game that comes in a little pouch, sort of like a love letter. And what we're trying to do here is you start with a circus poster, and you're trying to collect parts of that circus poster. And this is just a game for 2 players, and the first player to get 3 of those 5 poster tiles will win the game. And the way you get a poster tile is by manipulating where the circus performers, which is represented by those discs, those poker chips, by manipulating where they are. And there are basic moves where you can swap to adjacent pieces and flip over one circus performer to find out what's on the other side. But they also all have unique abilities that can be triggered in order to manipulate things. And the way you get one of those poster pieces is by getting 3 of the same performer in adjacency, 3 in a row. And it is a really neat game. There's some interesting decisions to be made along the way. It's got a strong memory aspect. It looks great. Those poker chips are super thick and durable, and it's so tiny. It's so tiny. It's right here. Like, look at this. Look at this little thing. It's basically it basically looks like a itty bitty Christmas stocking. So it's like Christmas stocking inception. Put a stocking in a stocking. Flip Circus is a great little 2-player game. Again, you play this one.
I did. Yes. Flip Circus was something that like I had been aware of it for a while because it's at the cafe. But I hadn't played it yet, and it wasn't like super on my radar. I had seen it, but I didn't really know much about it. And so when you asked me to play it, I was like, yeah, okay, let's give this thing a go, not knowing anything about it. But I really, really enjoyed it. I only played it the one time, but I would love to play it again because there was, oh my gosh, so much more strategy than I thought. You like wiped the floor with me. I don't think I was close to winning at all, but knowing like all of their different abilities and like remembering what they did, and then also like remembering where each of the things are, because again, not that this is a memory game, but similarly with some of the other games we've talked about, this is a game where the tokens are double-sided, and so you have to remember like which ones have been flipped and where they've moved. So it was trickier than I thought it was going to be, but it was a lot of fun. It in some ways reminded me of Mr. Jack Pocket because of the tokens that are double-sided and the different like actions that they have. And I love that game. So I would like to play Flip Circus again and hopefully do better that time.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I love Flip Circus. Can't wait to play more of it. It's absolutely going to be a game that goes into my pocket or my book bag a lot of the time when I'm out, especially on coffee dates and whatnot. So for me, great choice to put in a stocking.
My next game is Get Bit by Greater Than Games. This is actually a remake of a game that I believe had like Lego vibes beforehand. I had never played that version, but I had seen it around. So Get Bit, if you're familiar with the old version, is a game. I don't know the original theme apart from it being Lego.
It's the same theme.
Was there a shark?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exact
This
same
is
game.
cool. Okay. So there's a shark and there's a line of all the players, and you essentially are trying to get away from the shark, swim away from it. And so you have cards that you're going to play that will determine how fast you're swimming. And essentially this just determines the sequence of order in which you move to the front of the line. And if two people play the same card, then neither of those players move. Whether it's two people or three or four, it doesn't matter. None of you will move. And so there's a little bit of bluffing in this game. And it's a press your luck game. And I'm a sucker for press your luck games. But this game is super easy to teach. And that's something I love. It's a game that I go with me, that I bring with me, that goes with me, I bring it. And I teach it to, like when I'm hanging out with extended family over the holidays, or going to Christmas parties where I may not know a lot of people, but it's a great game that's super easy to teach, pretty quick. It's about a 20-minute game, and it's you can be quite nasty with it. Like if you're, that somebody has certain cards left in their hand, because when you play a card, it'll stay there until you either have only one card left in your hand, then you'll pick them all back up. Or if you get bit, then you pick all of your cards back up. But sometimes somebody might only have a couple cards left and you know what they're going to play. So you purposefully play the same card and screw them over. So yeah, that's my last choice. Get Bit was a lot of fun, and I've played it many, many times since I first played it only like a month ago, I think.
Right. Well, this is another one of these games that has a real like party game vibe. It's got the opportunity for some nasty play, but it's really accessible for kids. This new edition in particular, the artwork and the style of the little toys that are in the box are so much more like colorful and really eye-catching for kids in particular. My kids didn't even care that it was about sharks chomping off the arms and legs of people. They were just like, it doesn't matter, they're all so cute. And so really accessible now. Even their artwork on the box implies that it's not really actually happening in real life. This is just like a soapbox that's happening while you're having a bath. And so, like, great game, really nice to look at. There's now the option, too, to play as the shark, which I don't think was there in the original edition, and a nice little variant to kind of shake things up once you're really familiar with how to play the base game.
Yeah.
Get Bit, so much fun. All right, Milo, I've got one more pick. I said my last one was my last pick, but I've got an honorable mention for you here. And this one is called Bro Surfing. I know I've already talked about a bro-y game today, but this one is called Bro Surfing. This is made by Upsize Fun. And this game right now, this is not going to be available in stores. This one you can only get through the Game Crafter, which is a website where you can order kind of the bits and pieces to make your own games, or you can create your own product and sell them through the Game Crafter, which is what the case is here with Bro Surfing. Now, this is a game that's made just for one person. This is a solo game where you are surfing and you are making your way through the waves of cards. There is sort of a pyramid to start with, one card and then two and then three. And as you move forward through the waves, you don't really know what's coming until you're through one wave, and then you'll see what's two steps ahead of you. And so you are navigating the obstacles of the waves. You are trying to get to certain spots to show off and pull off tricks to get points. You can get sponsors to get extra points by the time you get to the end of your surf run. And I was really surprised by this one, just how fun it was to navigate everything that comes your way. And you know, in the box it comes with two little pawns. After I played my first game, I was like, I wonder if there's a way to play this with two players. But Bro Surfing, super cute to look at, really unique artwork. I love the surfing theme and the way it's implemented in this game. So if you're looking for something that isn't, you know, that like polished off of the store shelf kind of situation, you want something that very few people are going to have their hands on, definitely one worth checking out. And again, I'll have the link to Bro Surfing in the description of this video.
All right, so those are all of our choices, but we would love to hear what your choices are. What games have you played during the last 12 months that you think would fit perfectly into a stocking? Let us know in the comments below.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button so that you're with us as we bring more family-friendly board gaming recommendations heading into 2025. And thank you so much for watching. Milo, I know you're feeling a little bit under the weather today, so thank you for toughing it out to be here to make this Stocking Stuffer video happen, our third annual Stocking Stuffer video. And I think that's it for now. So we'll be back again soon. And until then, whether you've got little players
or big players,
make sure that you keep playing games
that make your thumbs go way up. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.